Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I've been waiting for a month or two to finally get my hands on, and I cannot wait to get this guy cracked open to see if he is as fun as he actually looks in package. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Toys Tony the Tiger, and we're going to find out if he's GRRRRRRRR. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by, and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Articulated Empire is your newest online retailer for shopping for your favorite figures and toy lines like Mythic Legions, Savage Crucible, and Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, to name a few. They ship your orders quickly and securely. Visit articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. All right, here we have the package, and I can tell you, listen, if this figure is as much fun as this package is, boy, we're in for a treat, because this thing is really nice. For a replica box of cereal, you've got the Kellogg's, the Frosted Flakes logo over here, 6+ action figure. You know, I guess so that if this is in a store somewhere, like in Target, you don't mistake this for like a box of cereal that somebody misplaced in a in the toy section. Here's a whole bunch of warnings, because, you know, this says it's got him like eating, and like you don't want to, like, don't eat this. I love this right here. This is so much fun. So instead of like the nutritional value of the cereal box, you just get a little write-up and like all about the figure. You know, the serving size is one figure. That's hilarious. Action figure facts. And then you've got a little picture of everything he comes with. On this side, we've got Tony the Tiger stuff on the bottom. That's what the top looks like. And then here on the back, there we go. I couldn't do that intro without doing that, right? And then here, check them out at Jada Toys. This is so much fun. And then it's got this book style, like window box packaging, slam dunk. Look at this. I love that typography. It looks really nice. And then you can see just about everything he comes with on the inside. I mean, this is a display box if there ever was one. I love the idea of them mimicking the old boxes of cereal. So you can like display this behind your figure. You could even like line them up on your shelf like this. You know, if you've got the other ones, which I have Count Chocula and Frankenberry. So enough about this awesome box. Let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look at everything he has to offer. All right, taking a closer look at his accessories, I do want to start off with the cornflakes box that he comes with. The Frosted Flakes box that he comes with. And I want to say that these are definitely an upgrade from the past boxes that we've got. I don't have Boo Berry, but I do have Count Chocula and Frankenberry. And as you can see, these are very reflective. Like even the printing is very reflective. They're very shiny, and they look more like a box of candy than they do like an actual cereal box. Whereas the printing on here has been seriously upgraded. You can see that it's got like a, I don't know like if this is like a UV coating, but it has a completely different texture that you can feel with your hand. It now has side printing, which the past releases did not, which is crazy. And it just overall has a better printed quality to it. This almost looks like you could scratch it off if you tried, whereas this feels like it's really baked into the printing process. Even though I can see that they've been applied to a blue piece of plastic here. But this is just fantastic. I mean, outside of the, you know, accessory for Tony here, this could really be used in a diorama, because I kind of feel like it's 1/12 scale, like actual size. And I mean, just look at all the detail, all of the printing that's on there. There's even a QR code, which I don't even know if that's large enough or even a real QR code to be scanned. I haven't even tried it. But man, just the printing on there just looks incredible. So kudos. This is probably going to be in the top 10 accessories of the year category if I did one of those, which, note to self, let's do a top 10 action figure accessories of the year category. Next up, we do have a pretty large basketball here, which is great. That was done on purpose. It's got a little hole here for a couple of reasons. One, we have a hand, a right hand where you can balance the ball on it, and that's pretty dope. He does come with this little swirl effect, so it's like this little separated piece of plastic, and this doesn't connect to the ball in any way. It just kind of sits there, so you can kind of angle it however you want. You can have it like going straight across the middle, and it just looks like the ball is spinning if I didn't have Butterfingers, which is pretty dope. I gotta say, that's a nice effect. And then the next really cool accessory that we get here is a bowl of cereal. And again, we have a little hole in here. So I guess if you wanted to have Tony like balancing the bowl of cereal on his finger, you certainly could. But he also has a left hand here with a peg on it to hold that bowl of cereal, which is really nice. So we do get a bowl of Frosted Flakes. And to go along with that, we have a left hand and a spoon, and the spoon is a separate piece. This actually does look like it could come out, but I'm not going to try to remove it. But you can angle that spoon as you see fit, and it's got a little spoonful of cornflakes. Now the spoon doesn't go into the bowl, and I'm kind of glad for that. I'm glad it doesn't, because then otherwise you'd have like a hole here in your cereal. But yeah, that's just so dope that those come together like that. So let's just look at the hands. You do have this hand with the spoon. Like I said, it is movable, and you can turn it and rotate it, you know, for whatever you need in your photography. This does have a horizontal hinge on it. We have this C-grip holding hand, which is made for holding the box of cereal, depending on how you want to display it on your shelf. And that is on a horizontal hinge as well. You have both the number one finger for spinning the basketball, but you also have another finger without the peg, which is identical, and this is his, you know, their great pose for his finger. And those are all of your right hands, all on horizontal hinges. Then we have the hand with the peg, which is holding, you know, the cereal bowl, but you could also use this peg to like have him holding the basketball like he's dribbling it, or he's going to go up to like slam dunk. So it's very versatile. I think more thought went into this than people at first glance may think. Then he does have a fist, you know, for punching bad guys. And then he does have the thumbs up, you know, they're great, you know, pointing. He's either thumbs upping you or he's like pointing at himself. And then this one is on a vertical hinge, and I think this is the only finger. Nope, I'm sorry. These are on vertical hinges as well. I didn't realize that. I just assumed everything was horizontal. So lots of hand choices here for this guy. Now, taking a closer look at Tony himself, boy, I gotta tell you, this figure, it just feels good in hand. It's got a good weight to it. The plastic quality is more in line with the plastic quality that Jada uses for their Street Fighter figures, and it doesn't feel it doesn't feel the same as their earlier serial releases. Now, I know that there's a few years difference between these two, and between, you know, these two, like the Street Fighter line has come out, and so they've, you know, had some, you know, advances in their production, or maybe their facilities, or at least in the plastic. But, you know, like Frankenberry feels pretty good in hand. Count Chocula, on the other hand, is a little flimsy. He's just a little finicky. He also has very thin legs and knees. It makes him kind of hard to stand up, but he still looks good. The older releases had a gimmick where you could replace the heads or the face plates and get different looks, but there's not one of those for Tony here, and I don't really think he needs it. I'm glad he came with more hand accessories, hands and accessories, than an extra head, because I don't really think he needs it. Tony always has this very excited, very happy, smiley face look to him in any of his poses, and I just think he looks great as he is, and I don't think there's necessarily a different expression here that that would benefit him. So I'm kind of glad they put the money and the budget into the hands and the accessories and not the heads. He does come with a soft goods bandana. It does have some little printing on it. It says Tony. You can remove this if you want. He does have, we're going to go over all the articulation here, but he just feels really good in hand. And that's really good to know. Like I said, he feels more like a Street Fighter figure. So let's go over articulation. Starting with his head here, he can't really look up that far because there's just not a lot of clearance back there. I don't think the bandana is stopping it. He can't really look up that far, but he can look down. It is on a, let's see here. Feels like it's on a hinge, yeah, and a ball joint, so you can get some tilt. You can get a little bit of bobble, of course, side to side. The whiskers here, if you're wondering, they're kind of like plastic bristles that would be on like a really cheap, like, dollar store like hairbrush, like an old hairbrush, you know. That kind of feels like what they're made out of, so they don't feel like they're gonna break off in any way. At least I don't feel like that. I was kind of nervous about that at first before I got him out of the package, but in hand they don't. The arms can go all the way up like that, so hit that T-pose. They can go all the way around. They do have a biceps swivel. They do have, there is double joints here, but let's see what's going on. This lower piece, there we go. So we do have a double joint, but that's about as far as it's going to go. Depending on what hinge, what hand you have on, you've got a hinge swivel. Works very well. Man, it's a very stiff figure. I hope you guys can see that there's some subtle airbrushing going on here with the arms. Like I'm just now noticing this. You can see there's like a lighter orange sprayed on top of the orange plastic, which is great. And that's just a little subtle feature. It's on both arms. It's also on the shoulders, if you can see that. And then of course it's also on his back and on his head. It just looks really, really nice. I mean, Jada, they go above and beyond. I mean, there's no reason for this Tony the Tiger cereal figure to have like airbrushing, right? So we've got this very generous ball joint for the upper torso, so this guy can really move and get around. We have a nice little swivel and ball joint down below, so you couple those together, he can crunch forward that far. He can lean back all the way for those slam dunking poses. This is kind of like a softer, rubbery diaper, but man, it is not egregious the way it is on, like, say, like even a McFarlane figure. It's not very noticeable, like a diaper piece. Then we got some more of that spray down here below on the legs and the feet, and the legs can go forward. Look at that. We even got some paint apps on the foot. I didn't even notice that. Foot can go all the way out. The leg can go all the way out that far, all the way out to the side that far, and he can go all the way back, which I know regular release figures can't do that. We've got a hinge and a single joint at the knee, and we have a hinge and pivot down here at the foot, so you get nice foot articulation. And then we have a hinged and swivel joint on the tail, and you know, it's getting all the poses that you could possibly want. And honestly, like, this guy is just so much fun. We're going to get into a lot of the poses and everything towards the end, but I did just want to kind of like show like how you can, I mean, really kit this guy out. You know, you got the ball here and the little swirly effect. I mean, come on. That's just great. It's just great. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to keep doing the voice, but I am going to keep saying it. That's just pretty fantastic, all the different little poses you can get him in. But what about height? How big is this guy, and how is he going to stack up next to some of your other figures on your shelf? Well, let's find out. All right, let's get the tape measure out here. Tony is standing, you know, to the top of his ears. Looks just a hair under 6.5 inches. So that's what you're working with here. If you happen to have some of the other cereal figures that they have put out, here's how he was going to stack up against Count Chocula and Frankenberry. I don't know if I'll track down Boo Berry. I mean, he's just kind of like a little plastic blob on a stick. So, You know, I don't know if I'll track him down, but you know, to compare him to some other figures, like here he is next to a standard Marvel Legends, keeping in that Saturday morning theme of watching cartoons and eating your cereal. Here he is next to a Super 7 Tigra figure. Here he is next to a Masters of the Universe Classics Trap Jaw, and then here he is next to McFarlane Toys Superpowers figure. So he's going to go very well, like if you have like an 80s toy shelf, you know, which I definitely do, which is why I picked this guy up. He's going to fit in nicely with your collection. So let's get this guy into some lighting and into some backgrounds and see how he poses up. I got to tell you, this is one of those rare occasions where I buy a figure just because it's fun. But it's also one of those rare occasions when I've bought a figure just for fun and it happens to look great, move great, feel great, and just is a lot of fun to mess around with. Comes with a ton of stuff, a lot of accessories that make sense. I gotta tell you, having a Tony the Tiger action figure was not on my 2025 bingo list, bingo card. It certainly wasn't. I did not expect to care this much. I really didn't. I'm kind of blown away. Now, I'm not saying that this is an action figure that has changed the game in any way. It certainly isn't. That's not what this is. But it's a lot of fun. It is very surprising that a character, a beloved character from my childhood, getting an action figure, I mean, from a breakfast cereal, you know, that is just as much a part of my childhood and my upbringing as He-Man or Thundercats or Silverhawks. And I just never thought this would be something that I would need in my collection. But here we are with Jada Toys bringing it once again, from their Street Fighter line to their cereal mascots to their cyberpunk figures. Jada is just absolutely killing it, and they are one very exciting toy company to watch. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. Is this something that you would like to have in your collection? Are you excited for this figure? Or are you like me, kind of caught off guard by it? Just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the toy aisles.